Hi, this is Steve at The New Wheel, and today I'm going to show you how to take the front wheel off your bike. And we're going to start with this Kalkoff Sahel i8, and this has hydraulic rim brakes. But a lot of these concepts are going to apply across the board. We have a quick release and a dynamo hub, so we'll show you how to do that. And we'll show you the specifics of whether you have V-brakes or disc brakes later on. So on this bike to start, we're going to release the brake. And the Magura hydraulic rim brakes have this silver lever here, which you can loosen up, and that allows you to pull that caliper off. So next we're going to take off the dynamo cable. That's on the right side or the drive side of the bike. And it's this connector right here, and it just pulls out pretty easily. Okay, now we're going to open our quick release. We just pull this lever like that. And we might have to loosen it up just a little bit by either turning this counterclockwise or holding it steady and turning the other side counterclockwise. Until the wheel comes out of the fork. Now we're going to reinstall our front wheel, and when we do this, it's very important to make sure that the wheel is straight in the dropouts and it's not cocked off to one side or the other. That can be difficult to do if the bike is on the ground. You have to make sure that the bike is sitting straight up and down when you tighten down the wheel, otherwise your brakes can end up rubbing or something else will go wrong. So it's very important to make sure that's in there straight. Okay, so I'm going to push the wheel back up into the dropouts here. And with the dynamo hub, you want to make sure that your connector is facing back up towards the cable where it was before. Now I'm going to start tightening up my quick release skewer. And we want this tight enough so that you start feeling pressure right about when it's parallel with the ground. And when you close it all the way, it should be fairly firm. Leave an indentation in your hand perhaps, but not as hard as it possibly can go. So now we're going to reconnect our dynamo cable, otherwise our lights won't work. And there's a little symbol, and this connector is tapered so the smaller end is going to face out. And we're just going to reconnect that. It's pretty easy, you shouldn't have to force it or anything. Just snap it right back on there. Okay, so now we're going to reconnect our brake, and to do that, we've got a hole here up top and one in the bottom that's going to go into our quick release skewer. And so we're just going to guide both of those back together like that. And then your pad should line up with the brake track on your wheel. If it doesn't, you can adjust the brake up and down until it fits correctly. And then just tighten that skewer back up. Alright, so now that we're done with that, we just want to make sure that we spin the wheel, make sure it spins freely and the brakes aren't rubbing, and make sure that our lights work. So to release the V-brake, it's pretty easy. We're just going to pull back the dust boot, grab this arm with one hand and the noodle with the other hand, and just pull those apart. And then take the wheel out, do what you need to do, and then when you need to put it back together, just reverse that process. Grab the noodle and this arm, push that back into the slot, and replace the dust boot, and you're good to go. Here we have a Focus Drifa Off-Road. This bike has hydraulic disc brakes. The cool thing with any disc brakes is that you don't have to release anything to get the wheel out. So it's a little bit easier. All we have to do is open up the quick release. On this particular bike, the dropouts are pretty thick, so you have to loosen it quite a bit before it'll come out. But it's still pretty quick. If you're going to be traveling and have the wheel out of the frame, it's really important to put a spacer inside of the caliper so that if the brake lever gets accidentally pulled, it doesn't squeeze the brake pads together. So to recap, taking the front wheel off is something people do pretty frequently, usually to get the bike into a car or something like that. It's really easy to do, you don't need any tools, and there's just a few different steps depending on which type of bike you have, but for the most part it's very easy. Thanks for watching.